Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. It's Enzo, baby, Kenzie Jane, whatever you want to call me. I'm back. And I'm going to be doing a lock talk today. So if you come here because you have locks, or you come here because you want to get locks, and you're not sure about getting locks, just stay tuned. Just go ahead and stay tuned. My iPad right here, I'm not going to show you what's on it because that's what we're going to talk about. But I got my little notes. So let's get into it. If you haven't seen my face before, don't forget to hit that subscribe button because duh, what are you doing? And let's get into it. First off, I'm going to go ahead and talk about my lock journey. So these are my locks, obviously. This is my second lock journey, so I'm going to talk about my first lock journey first. So my first lock journey was last year. I had my locks for exactly like 11 and a half months, something like that. And I took them out like right before Christmas of last year. So my locks, I started them in January of 2022. Yeah, January of 2022, I started with comb coils. My lock journey, honestly, I loved it. I went through the ugly stage the end of my senior year of high school, and then my locks were really maturing and budding the beginning of my freshman year of college. Honestly, it wasn't my locks that made me take my locks out. It was my lock extensions that made me take my locks out. But I'm going to talk about lock extensions in a whole separate video because it is a lot of information. But just letting you know that the information that I'm giving y'all is going to be from my first and second lock journey. So after my first lock journey, I basically kind of let my hair rest for about 6 months. And then I started this lock journey in July of 2023. I started this lock journey with instant locks. I instant locked them myself. And also my first lock journey, I didn't do the comb coils myself. I paid someone to do the comb coils, and then I maintained my locks. So I did all my retwists past my first retwist of my first lock journey. This lock journey, I'm completely 100% self-maintained. So like I said, I started my locks with instant locks. With instant locks, they do still have to lock up. Like, it's not like I just had automatic mature locks from like day one. From day one, I had basically like 6-month-old locks. Like, it was budded locks, but they weren't mature yet. Like, my locks are still locking currently. They've gotten thicker. They, changed since I instant locked them. I absolutely love this set of locks. And like I said, the whole reason why I took out my first one was just because of my extensions. I got my extensions around like November of my first lock journey, so I was like 11 months in, and I put my extensions in myself. And I have videos up on my channel about my extensions, or about me washing my extensions and stuff. Y'all can go watch those, and I'm going to link them in the description too. I don't plan on extending these locks, at least not permanently. I have done a couple styles with like Marley hair, like Cuban twist hair, like extending my locks, but that's hair that you can always take out. Currently, the way I maintain my locks, what's best for me is I do retwists maybe like once a month or maybe twice a month. I'll do retwists once a month, and then if I have like an event or something coming up, then I might do like a refresh retwist like right before, where I'll just retwist like the front of my head or something like that. For me, I have a very active lifestyle, so I go to the gym a lot, meaning that like sweating and stuff. My retwists don't usually last that long anyway. I've tried interlocking, and it definitely worked better with my lifestyle, but I personally didn't like the way that it looked. I like the actual like twist look of a retwist, so interlocking was just not for me. But that is something that you can do like if you have a more active lifestyle, because it is easier to upkeep like the neat look of your locks. But me personally, I like the way my locks look when I don't have a retwist, so it doesn't really matter to me either way. A couple do's and don'ts that I learned about having locks. Number one, do not retwist your locks too often. I feel like this is self-explanatory. You retwist your locks too often, it's going to cause your locks to thin out at the root. It's going to put too much tension on your hair at the root, and your locks are just, they're not going to like it. Your hair is not going to like it. You're not going to like it because your head is always going to be tight. It's also important not to go too long without retwist. Some people go like months and months and months without retwist, but this just causes your hair to tangle more, and it's just makes whenever you get a retwist, it makes it a lot more difficult for whoever's doing your hair. Another thing I say is getting styles. So as an unlicensed loctician, because I do hair on Tennessee State University campus, so if you go to TSU and you need your locks retwisted, I'm going to put my hair page in the description box. But as for like styles and stuff, I know a lot of people who I'll do their retwist and a style, and then the next time they come back and they book another retwist, the last style that I put in is still in their head. Y'all, when you have a style, it is important to take the style out before you get your next retwist so that your locks can breathe. Being in that stretched tight position is going to cause too much tension on your hair. Your locks need to have time to just be able to hang and be free for a minute before you put them right back into another tight style. Having your locks in a style constantly like that is going to cause breakage on your hair, and depending on which style you get most often, it can cause breakage in one specific part of your head, which is gonna, you're gonna go bald. That's not fun. Another thing is make sure that you keep your locks moisturized. I always make sure to tell all my clients and everybody I see with locks, everyone who's starting their lock journey, it is most important to keep your locks moisturized. If you're just starting your lock journey, your locks are going to lock faster if you keep them moisturized. If you have had your locks, you know that your locks are going to be healthier. Your hair in general is healthier when you keep it moisturized. Important disclaimer: oil is not a moisturizer. I repeat, oil is not a moisturizer. Oil is a sealant. You use oil to seal in the moisture that you put in your hair. If you oil your scalp every single day, good for you. That is a wonderful practice, but your hair is not moisturized. You need to moisturize your locks and then use the oil to seal in that moisture. Another thing that I recommend is mixing oils. Yes, you can have one oil, and that one oil can work perfectly fine for you. But if you haven't found that one oil that your hair just absolutely loves, I recommend trying to mix different types of oils. Me personally, I mix a lot of different types of oils, but two oils I always make sure are in my mix is Jamaican black castor oil, or just any type of castor oil, and peppermint oil. Those are just my two favorite oils, and they work really good for my hair. So if you don't know any oils that work good for your hair, I suggest trying them out because they may work well for you too. Another tip I like to say is do not moisturize your locks before bed. When I started my first lock journey, that was something I did. I would spritz my hair every morning and every night. I say you could put oil in your hair at night before you go to bed, but I recommend not putting water or anything wet in your head before you go to bed because it will create a stench in your locks. When you put moisture in your hair and then you wrap it up and lay down, that heat is trapping the moisture inside your bonnet or your scarf or your do-rag or whatever you're putting on your hair, and it's gonna cause fungus and stuff to grow. It's basically like when you leave, if you wash clothes and you leave them in the washing machine and if they sit there, you need to wash those clothes again. Speaking of sleeping, make sure that you are always sleeping on some type of satin or silk surface. If you don't have a satin pillowcase, make sure you keep a bonnet or a scarf on, and make sure that you protect your ends all the way up to the roots of your locks. All of your hair needs to be protected, especially when you go to sleep. Natural hair in general needs to be protected by satin surfaces, but locks in particular, try to limit your locks contact with cotton surfaces and rough surfaces, especially lint filled surfaces, because lint and dust and stuff can get trapped in your locks, and then you have to sit there and pick the lint out of your locks, and it is not a fun experience, I'm telling you. Those are honestly all of the tips that I have for you guys right now. If you guys like this video and you want a part 2, let me know. And if you guys want a video of me going more in depth about lock extensions and my experience with them, please let me know in the comments below or on Instagram. But until next time, I'll see y'all in my next video. Bye.